Welcome to the DJ Insider Podcast, sponsored by Amplified Events.
It's the only podcast where we break down insider information from our weddings, experience, and advice from over 15 years in the wedding industry.
We're your hosts. I'm Mike Kane, owner of Amplified Events.
And I'm Joe Albomonte, the general manager of Amplified Events.
Let's get into it. All right, we're back.
We are.
And we have a new member in the studio. Welcome to the podcast, Joe Albomonte.
Very happy to be here.
Thanks for coming, man.
Of course, yeah.
And kind of a cool kind of thing has happened. So Chris has gone to work in a restaurant with his buddy. And so Joe has stepped up to be our new general manager. And so he's jumping on the podcast. But I've known you for quite a while.
Yes.
We worked at another company before this. It's been how long? 8, 9 years? It's been quite a while.
Going on 25 will be 9 years.
Yeah.
2025 will be 9 years.
I want to say you were just graduated or about to graduate high school.
It was my senior year of high school, like going into that senior year, I think, yeah. That's like when we met, and I think I assisted like 2 times that year, 3 times that year only. It wasn't anything crazy. But the next summer I came back and fell in love with it. And
then I remember you went to school. What did you go to school for? I know you, but for the podcast.
Yes, I went to school for acting. I do have an acting degree. Thought I wanted to go out to California and do the whole thing. But then graduated during COVID 2020. Just kind of a mess.
That's kind of the worst time to graduate with the acting degree.
It was the worst.
When they weren't filming, nobody was acting.
It was terrible. We wrote a bunch of one-person shows as like our senior thesis. Like every other major has a whole thesis that they got to write or a big project. We had to write a one-person show, write and perform in it. We just finished writing them. We booked a space to perform all of them in, and then COVID just shut everything down. We never got to perform them. That was it. My senior year just ended, and we finished acting school online.
Oh, goodness.
But it worked out for the best. I moved back home around here so I could keep doing this. And
yes. And
great.
so throughout you going to school and graduating high school, going to college, and then working and graduating and moving all over, pretty much every year you'd come back and assist or work weddings with me. So it's just you kind of developed this awesome friendship and just this really great working relationship. And then this summer, you're like, fill my calendar. Give me as many weddings as you can give me. And we did.
Absolutely. And I think I'm at 25 events this year.
Awesome.
Most 23 weddings and the karaoke gig.
Yes, the karaoke gig.
So that was great. And I can't think of the other one that I did. But yeah, mostly weddings. But yeah, fill my calendar. I want to do 50 next year. We'll double it. We'll double it.
I love it. And one of the coolest things is that like this year you have gotten single-handedly the most 5-star reviews on our team. Like, just your couples rave about working with you.
Yeah, we have a good time.
Yeah,
I love my couples.
You have like a 98%. I got to do the math on it, but it's there's only 1 or 2 couples who they haven't reviewed you. They haven't got a bad review, but they just haven't reviewed you.
Yeah.
But everybody else has reviewed you and written 5 just rave stuff about you. And look, what's your secret? What's your approach to working with couples? What do you know that I don't know? Because you have more reviews than I do.
I mean, you have the most. We have 200 reviews. I mean, majority are you and Amplified overall, but most of them do say Mike. But really, the only thing that I changed this year was, I follow up. What I do establish early on is like a texting relationship with every couple, if they're interested in that, of course. Like after our first call, I always let them know they can call me, text me, whatever they need, any hour of the day. You want to text me at 3 a.m. that you're thinking of a song and you really want it as your first dance and you need to change it, text me. Like, I'm here for you. I want your day to be perfect. I make that very clear to them. And then I want to be their friend. Like, I'm here to throw a great party for them and for no other reason. Like, that is the only reason I am there, is to make their day. I am the life of the party. I'm not there to be the party, but like, we definitely are that spark. And just being able to do that or give them what they want. If they want just like a casual, we're not dancers, we just want some background music and to sit and drink whiskey. Like, let's do that. And we can party and like
put some whiskey playlists together.
Exactly. And we'll do some great stuff and we'll hang out. And that's what I like. I just cater it to them and then just follow up that next day, that next Monday. Hey guys, loved working with you and your guest. It's been a pleasure. Is there any way you could send us a review? I always let them know that I get a bonus at the end of the year based on how many 5-star reviews I get. Can't really say that's true. But people like, if they see that I did go the extra mile for them for their wedding and I put in a little extra effort, they're most of the time willing to do the same. If I reach out, if I send a text, and I'll send them the links to their email. I'll text them, I'll send them that, and then I'll text them, hey, the links are in your email. You don't have to do it, of course, but if you have some time, I'd love a review. Most of the time they'll do it that day. Or like when I get home from work, like I'd love to do it. And they usually get back really quick. And that's just the only difference.
I love that. I mean, well, it's working. Whatever you're doing, keep it up, please, because it's awesome as a business owner to see a DJ just like, really care a lot about doing a good job. Yeah. And then to like their couples be very responsive to like, we love this guy. He's doing a great job.
Yeah. It's the most satisfying too when they review and I don't send the links because I'm so accustomed to that. I do send them all the time, and I'd say a handful of them, like 4 or 5 weddings. I didn't have to send the links. I didn't have to send a text. They just like by 9 a.m. the next morning, we're just like, we had a great night last night and we just want to thank you. And I love that. I really do appreciate that.
Speaking of which, that is what you're talking about. That happened this weekend.
Yeah. This weekend.
Do you want to talk a little bit about that wedding and that couple? And
we definitely should. So that couple was fantastic. I absolutely loved working with them. When we showed up, you were there, helped me set up. It was great. We set up in the wrong spot.
Yeah. Oh, such a nightmare.
That is something I've never done. In the 9 years of doing this job, we have never set up in the wrong spot. And it was an easy fix. Like, thank God we have the setups we have, and it's just an EV and a pole and a phone. Like, it was seriously less than a 2-minute fix. Nobody noticed besides the photographer. Bride and groom didn't panic at all. Yeah. They didn't mention it. No one else mentioned it the rest of the night because no one noticed. Like, it was that small of a thing. Yeah. But to us, it feels like the biggest nightmare ever.
All the DJs listening know what I'm talking about, that you get set up in a spot and then like, you're like, okay, yeah, we're good. We're set up. And then you're like, what's going on? And then basically like 5 minutes before ceremony, they're like, you're not set up in the right spot. You have to, ceremony's in a different location. Now, it's not our fault. If you've been there, if anyone listening who's DJ, we're at Avalon Manor. They can do 3 weddings. There's 3 different salons to do weddings there. There's also 3 different locations to do the ceremony.
Yes.
And if you're facing the building, we were on the far left side, and there's an outdoor ceremony space right there.
With the same color scheme.
Same color scheme. Now,
same color.
In the couple's defense, the color scheme is fall themed, right? Burnt orange, reds, beautiful, right? And then, the other... on Avalon, the right side also has an outdoor, and then there's a middle area where you can do an indoor ceremony. Yeah. And so we got set up, and we assumed, it's going to definitely be over here, right? Because that's where we always do it.
Right here. It's like right next to
That's where you always do the ceremony. If we were on the other side, we would have set up on the outside on the other side.
Exactly.
If we were in the middle, we would have set up inside.
And I always ask, and this was the one time I did not.
Because it seemed so obvious.
And they were taking pictures out there, and I was like, oh, great. And then the other DJ from the other wedding comes up.
Say about that. That was so funny.
Oh my gosh. The other DJ comes up to us from the other wedding at the end of the hallway. So we don't think he's here. And he's coming up to us and he's like, hey guys, so I think like I'm outside. And we're like, no, that's us. Like we've been set up, like we're good. I think there's another ceremony like 4 rooms down. No, I was the jackass.
Yeah. That was so
I was in the wrong spot. It was cool.
The nicest guy, such a pro.
Yeah. Oh my! We made another joke about it too when he finished ceremony. I saw them like walking this way. It was a good relationship. It was funny.
So funny. And he had like a whole like wagon, a ton of equipment.
Good.
We had our little E-Verse 8 and our little Comica mics, and we're running all that. And that, to me, this is the best thing about kind of our setup and what we do. That we do kind of like a shotgun run and gun kind of setup. We're not doing. We bring the exact amount of equipment we need to do the job, nothing more. We have backups and extra stuff, but we don't want to over-equip the space.
Yes.
For so many reasons. Aesthetics matter. We don't want to have so much equipment that it detracts from the natural beauty of the venue. Mm-hmm. We don't want to have so much equipment, ideally, because it's just heavier. It's more expensive. It takes more time to set up and tear down, and it's just more work. And if something goes wrong, then it's easily moved or easily replaced, or if there's no... Like, all of our stuff usually has a battery backup option. And so, to me, this was the classic example where even when you're wrong, you're right.
Yeah, because it was like a 30-second fix.
Yes, yes.
And
we were
we
set
had
up in
the
the wrong
right
ceremony,
equipment.
but guess what? We pick up the speaker, move it inside, and we're
The
good.
music was still playing on the
The
speaker.
music was still playing. We walked in with
it
music
in.
playing, and then we're good. That was it.
It was perfect.
And so
Ceremony
it was like
went
it never
smooth.
happened.
Ceremony went super smooth right after that. Like doors opened at the right times, even as I was hitting the cues, and I don't know. Everything else went perfect that day.
The funniest thing to me is people who know me know I go on these diatribes. I just go on and on.
Yeah.
And I was on it after that guy walked up. I was like, oh man, he was in the wrong place, like that idiot. You know, like I didn't say he was an idiot, but like I'm like basically insinuating that this DJ's an idiot, not knowing where his ceremony is. And I'm going on about like this is why, like, you know, I don't like to be here. I like to set up and go, you know, grab a drink, hang out, go get food, not be sitting around waiting for people to stress me out.
Yeah.
Because stuff like this happens and it makes you second guess yourself, and you know you're doing the right thing. Mm-hmm. And I was going on and on about that, and that's when somebody came up and told us we were not doing the right thing. We were in the wrong location. we were.
Yes.
We were. I was like,
I totally
no,
get it.
we're the idiots.
I know. I remember leaving too. I was like, that guy, come on, like get in the right spot.
show some professionalism.
Seriously,
Yeah.
come on.
Yeah.
And here I am.
But who knew there was going to be what's that game on the street where they'll put the little marble and they'll move.
Follow the marble thing.
Yeah, that little cup game, whatever.
Yeah. I think it's just the cup game. Yeah,
it's there's a term for it, but basically, like that's what it was. It was like a shell game. They call it a shell game. And it was like a shell game of where the ceremony would be. So. But it makes me just, you know, that's a learning lesson for me to be even more thorough and to like not assume anything. Like,
always ask. And I always do.
That was the one time you didn't.
I always do.
But to me, you rightfully, I'm telling you, that's the first time it's ever happened to me at that location.
Yeah.
Almost every other time.
And it's like, even though it seemed right, I should still always, I will never not ask again. I will always ask a coordinator or someone like, is ceremony here? Just to be sure. That's like name of couple, it's in this room, right?
Yeah. That's so funny to me that they.
It was good.
Did that.
Excellent
wedding. And
wedding.
they booked the full package. They had monogram,
Full package.
They had up lighting, they had dance floor lighting, they had.
And they danced all night.
Salsa booth.
Till midnight.
Super nice couple too.
Super nice couple.
And then after all that, I see this email that next morning that the groom had already reviewed us 5 stars.
Seriously, by 9 a.m.
We didn't even ask yet.
No, I didn't say. I was still asleep at 9 a.m. on a Sunday. That's like my rest day.
That's the coolest thing.
It was really, really nice. They were great to work with.
What are the challenges about doing this job? What are the things you don't like? Things that frustrate you?
It's hard to say because honestly, it kind of changes. I don't think that mixing in itself is hard. I don't think that setting up our equipment is hard. I think that there are some venues that make it hard because like the load in sucks or it's like around this corner and then dance floor is like around this wall and then I'm set up over here. And there are just some frustrating things that just like the venues haven't figured out because like they're not thinking about those things all the time.
They're not DJs.
They're not DJs.
They're
And they're
venues.
also,
They
they're
care
not
about
photographers too though. It's just not catered to any vendors or even like your wait staff. Like some rooms are just designed so poorly. And that's totally fine. They're beautiful spaces most of the time when it's that situation. But it's just like, I had to carry my stuff up this weird old elevator, down a flight of this and up a flight of that. And now I'm connected to a ceiling for power that's running through a light. And like, there are just some things like that that I wish were a bit smoother. But like when we get into it and like we get into ceremony, I don't think there's anything too like hard about it or like anything that really frustrates me because I love it. I think that may be a part of it too. Is like, I love mixing. That's what I like to do. And I think initially like song selection was a bit difficult, but now like that I'm learning my couples and learning what's trending and what works at weddings for me, like I'm really starting to find this like hot spot of like, I don't know. I think there's really the only annoying things are like when the venue is just a little weird and I need to set up or when you get just like a super entitled, I would say like family member.
Sure.
And it's just like, well, I paid for the wedding, so why aren't you playing my song? And it's like, cause it's the daughter's
I'm
day.
the captain. I'm the DJ. They looked at me. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, well, it's your daughter or whoever's day. Like it's their wedding day. It's not yours. Yeah. I'd love to play your song, but now we're doing like early 2000s. I'm on Fergalicious and you're asking for like an Elvis song that's somewhat obscure.
You ain't nothing but a hound.
Yeah, like I can't go to that right now. I'd love to get back to it if we can.
Yeah.
But I got the bride's music.
Yeah. Oh, and the funniest thing is like they don't know, they don't care. Like they just want their song.
Yeah.
They have no understanding of your job. They don't want to understand, and they don't care about what it's going to cost you to play their song, which will cost the dance floor and it'll cost the respect and the trust that you've built with the crowd.
Yeah.
And the fun of the night. You might not get them back. That
And
may have been a
sometimes
night ender.
Exactly.
Because I played Hound Dog because Grandma wanted it.
She really needed it.
She's going to get going soon, you know.
Yeah, and they needed to hear it. But
So
I think that's probably the most frustrating thing is like I have a playlist. Like I have the bride's music, I have the groom's music, whoever it's their day. I have their song, and it's like 50 songs that they can give us. We'll get through 30 to 40.
Yeah.
I already have like enough. And if it's just way out of genre, I'm sorry, sir, that hasn't danced with your wife all night and it's now 10:30 and we're done at 11 and you need to hear your slow dance from your wedding. That's not my fault.
Well,
I played Sweet Caroline early on.
Do that at your wedding.
Exactly.
You know, this isn't your wedding. I'm here to throw a party for this couple, and they've given me parameters of what I want, and you know they're trusting me to throw it to and relying on me to like tell you no.
Yes.
You know?
Exactly. I've had a bride review me like that before because her dad kept coming up and asking for songs that he really wanted to hear. And she said, don't let him specifically make any requests. No requests from him. And he wanted to sing a song. Do not give him the mic. I did. He came up and asked for both of those things, and I told him no. He went and talked to the bride, and she came up and told me no with him. And I was like, I'm not doing it. I told you I won't do it.
Did he pull well, you know who's paying you?
Yes.
And I'm like, do you know who signed the contract?
Yep. And then the next day, the bride reviewed me, and she said, even my dad like tried. I had songs on the do not playlist, and I just really appreciated that he did not play them.
Yeah.
It's their day.
We're not there to please everybody. We're there to first and foremost, if we have to choose, we please the couple. It's their wedding.
Exactly.
And please the people who signed the contract.
Yeah.
That's who our client is. And,
Exactly.
You know, we'll play it at your wedding, buddy.
Yeah.
It's a
It's
song.
like, I'm sorry you're going to get now yelled at by your wife because you haven't danced with her all
I
night.
can't have any fun.
You should have gone out there.
Yeah.
I had the cha-cha slide going. I had anything you could dream of. You should have asked me at 7:00.
So, it's so frustrating. What are the things you love about it? What are the things that excite you and things you enjoy about doing this work?
No, I mean, I love it.
Too many things.
Too many things. Like I was saying, like I really love mixing. I've always loved music. Music has always been a huge part of me. Something I've always been very passionate about. And now that like I know song selection, it's so much more fun. It is so much more fun to DJ when you know like, oh, this song will hit. Like they're really vibing to this. Like this song is gonna hit hard, and you hear the woo, yeah, like that feels so good. That feels good, and like the actor in me, I eat that shit up. I need that. Bravo. Exactly, bravissimo. I need that, or like when you get the one more song at the end of the night, like you want an encore? You want an encore, guy? I performed so you want an encore? That feels really good, and just. When the couple does come up at the end of the night, it's like, thank you so much. Like, I really did have an amazing day. Like, you made our day special. That means so much to me because I know that I want that someday. Like, I want the vendors at my wedding to give a shit about me and my day and just everything like that. And I want them to feel that. I want them to feel like I'm really there for them. And when they tell me that they do, I mean, it feels really nice. I do love that about this job. And maybe that's all the egotistical things I love about this job. I love reading reviews. It's like my favorite thing. That's why I ask. That's why I ask so much. It feels good.
There's very few jobs that people will say thank you for doing your job. And it doesn't cost anything to do that.
No.
And we get that in this job.
And I don't need it.
And then
but
there's
I
very
love
few jobs
it.
where you get tipped, but you know, that we get that in this job. But then there's very few jobs where they'll go and they'll rave about the experience with you in the public. Oh, that feels so good.
It feels good, and there's also a very strong community, like in the wedding industry. It's like, oh, you're working at Allure on the Lake. Oh my God, Natalie, she's fantastic.
Yes.
You're working wherever, but like there are certain names and venues, and like you really start to learn the industry and photographers and just people that you work with a lot. And it really becomes a community of like, we're recommending you because we've worked with you so many times and we love you. We love working with you. We know you're going to do a great job. Yeah. And people just recommend each other's services. And it really becomes a small community that just does great work. And
yeah. And look out for each other. And they cover for each other and they help each other. And yeah, it's such a pleasure and privilege and it's an honor to do. So do you have any wild, crazy stories from weddings you've done this year or whenever?
I always tell this story whenever anybody asks me about like craziest wedding. But I did this one wedding where, oh my God, where do I even begin? So I get to this wedding and they have home brewed bottles of vodka for every single table. Like there is a table with your placemat card, whatever, with a bottle of vodka instead of flowers in the middle. It was a bottle of vodka for you. Distilled some vodka. Insane. So everybody was hammered. Everybody was hammered. It was this huge backyard wedding, that beautiful house, beautiful yard, acres upon acres, big tent set up. I'm set up inside at a dance floor. The bar is like out back, so I also have a speaker facing like outside of the barn, out towards the bar, so everybody can hear me and announcements and whatever. But long story short, it gets so rowdy at some point that the best man, I can't remember if it's the best man or brother of the groom, it was one of the two, got in a fight with the father of the bride. A fist fight on the dance floor with the father of the bride. And everybody like scatters and kills the dance floor because there's a fight. And anyway, that all happens. People start to settle. The mother of the bride comes up to me in a panic and she's like, "Can I sing a song?" And I'm like, "What?" What? Let me go talk to the bride.
She's like, "Mortal Kombat."
I talked to the bride, right? I talked to the bride. I'm like, "Your mom really wants to sing a song right now. What would you like me to do? Because you want to just keep playing music lightly or what's going on?" She said, "Just let her sing." Okay. What song do you want to hear? Or like, what song do you want to sing? She says a song in Spanish that I don't know the name of. I just sounded out on YouTube. I hit the first instrumental. It is the right song. I am praying that this is the right song. I just hit it. I hand her the mic. She just belts out the most beautiful, like loud soprano song ever. Crushes it. People are singing along. The fight never happened, basically. Like, everybody's back on the dance floor. She saved the night. The mother of the bride sung a karaoke song. Just some song, and absolutely crushed it. Saved the night. We're all dancing again. 15, 20 minutes later, everything's good. And then I hear the groom and all of his like groomsmen, like they're driving around a golf cart, drunk driving around a golf cart. They are off their ass. Having a good time. And they're like swerving around me, like as I turn around, and they nailed my K10. They nailed my pole and my K10, and it just hit the mud like hard. And it was fine. My speaker was okay. I cleaned it up. I took it in. Like we were done having bar speaker after that. But between the fight, the song, and that happening, that was, and then the best man at the end of the night, like drunk drive, like carts all of my stuff up to my car because it's like a hike back up to where I was parked. Hands me a beer for the road, and I'm like, dude, whoa, wait, whoa. The road pop, you can't just do that right now. I gotta what? So that was probably just the most absurd wedding that I've ever worked. I think it was 2 years ago.
Dude, that's crazy. That's so wild.
Yeah, that was a good one. That's a good one.
Oh, great story, dude. That's so. Do you know why they fought? Any details have you heard?
No, I never heard anything about the fight.
Just came to blows.
Just came to blows, and then the mother of the bride saved it.
Wow, that's insane. That is an awesome story.
That really was.
Oh my gosh, dude.
Good wedding. It was fun.
Yeah. So you have one coming up this weekend? Are you working?
Yes. I'm with Jeff this weekend. I'm leading, but I'm at Sandy Pines.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Full package except for ceremony.
Oh, nice. So no ceremony.
No ceremony, but we have monogram and photo booth.
That'd be fun.
Which is cool. Yeah. But yeah, no ceremony. I think they're doing it at a church, and then they're just going to drive over. But
good deal.
We start at like 5. It's great.
Yeah. Well, hopefully this one doesn't come to blows, and if it does, hopefully somebody can sing.
We'll see. Yeah. Where are you at this weekend? If you have,
I'm off.
You're off. Very nice.
So
congrats.
I'm very excited.
Nice.
It's been a tough Tough. It's been a great year, but a tough year. I'm just drained, very exhausted.
Yeah.
So I'm excited.
Do you know how many events you did personally?
I could look it up. It's in the 60s probably.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
Yeah, but I think I'm excited to get some downtime and recharge, but I'm really excited to having you in this new role and building our team and we got Jeff doing Amplified Michigan, so I think this 2025 is gearing up to be pretty.
I think it'll be a great year.
Pretty fantastic.
I think so. Do you think did we hit 175 this year?
We're at 174.
74 because that one. Okay.
Yeah. So. Gotcha. 174 gigs this year we've done, or will do by the end of the year. And so we just need one more to hit my goal. My goal this year was to hit 175. So we had that, but then we had a party cancel on us. So
the Christmas party?
No, it was a Halloween party we're supposed to do.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah,
that. They just didn't. Yeah. So but other than that, yeah, everything's going good. And
nice.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we can wrap up and look forward to have you on the podcast next week. And
yeah, absolutely.
Talk about how this weekend goes and all the adventures that we have. So
love it.
This has been the DJ Insider Podcast. I'm Mike.
I'm Joe.
And we will see you at your wedding.
See you there.